Yo, yo! Hey guys, welcome to another episode of the Hammer, episode 19. We'll be talking about tournaments. We're gonna have Shamehammer like normal. We're gonna be going over one of my lists that I made. We're gonna have hobby tip and unit of the week, as well as news and rumors. But as always, we'll start off with a yep. And now my mind is just broken. This has been a horrible morning. Starting off with that thing that we talk about stuff that happened in the week. That thing and stuff.
We can review.
And with me, like always today, is Savage and Seb. Now I'm gonna go back to sleep. They can handle the show for now. But okay, let's get into it. So, what have we done this week? Anyone? Seb, you want to go first?
Well, I'll go first. I did manage to lightly finger the vampire counts army book before, as well. I was saying it. Sarah's folks, and it was very pretty. And I've just been finishing off Corax Soulforge and getting absolutely raging at Black Library. But I think we'll talk about that a bit more in Shamehammer a bit later.
Okay. Savage done anything this week? I know we did a tactics video, but
Oh, well then you just spoiled it for everyone.
well, I was hoping that wasn't going to be the only thing you had.
Well, what if it was? Yeah, we did a tactics video.
Oh, really?
And some stuff. Yeah. A little bit of this, a little bit of that.
Okay, cool. Is everything streaming alright in chat room? Because I'm getting some issues on my end, but I don't know if that's me or if that's everyone. Just before we go on.
It seems to be looking okay, freezing every now and then, but other than that, it seems to be alright.
Yeah, I keep getting that like anti-lag thing pop up, but whatever, it seems to be alright now. Pretty big week for me, as I painted up my 500-point tournament list. I then went to that tournament, played those games, won best painted, then was painting some high elves this week for Fox. So
he would be very happy for that.
Yeah. So that was kind of my week. This is just not going good. It's just not streaming well. I really need to reset my computer, but we'll power through it. And if it gets too bad, I guess it's gonna be a short show. We finally get a chat room, and it's just fucking everything right now.
We're professionals. We can get through this. It'll be fine. Toxic.
We're not professionals. We're amateurs.
Look, your new twins are being looked after in the maternity ward, and we can do this.
Okay. Well, we'll move on with news and rumors, and I'll pass it off to you, and I can cool down.
Awesome scenes. So, news and rumors this week. Just an update with Fate 212 and his current ongoing things with Games Workshop with their intellectual property. He's continuing with his temporary site and ongoing with Games Workshop. But here's a little quote from him. The good part is there's nothing that Games Workshop should have been able to do against his site. And Google apparently went beyond their far above what they were meant to accommodate Games Workshop's complaints. They imply copyright infringement, but that simply is not the case legally, and he's got someone epically fighting his battle. So that's all rather interesting, and he should have his temporary site should be down next week, and his whole new exciting fair212.com should be starting next week. So that's kind of important because the copyright things does kind of affect a lot of different people, so it's always a bit of a concern. News in Games Workshop, stores have been refitted in Romford and Portsmouth in England, and Games Workshop are now looking for independent stockists in Europe, Australia and New Zealand, with a rather cheesy request on their site. But it's just a bit odd with all the hoo-ha there was a little while ago. I was going to throw this over to you guys, because weren't they trying to do everything just for themselves not too long ago?
It's very interesting because they basically want to be this internet kind of company by the sounds of it. Screw the independent stockists, buy from us online or our stores. It's like, well, now you're wanting independent stockists. It's like I feel like they shot themselves in the foot, and now they're like, oh crap, we actually do need them. Oh damn. Savage. Like, thoughts on that?
I think they just done goofed.
They done goofed.
Yeah.
You done goofed.
Pretty
son.
much. Yeah. Well, they're like, let's do that by ourselves, and then so all these people drop their range, and then they're like, well, shit, now we're not making enough money. Let's get them back.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, it's very odd.
So yeah, I think that's all we really have to say about
Okay.
it. Is Games Workshop done goofed?
They've done goof and quite an about turn. So in the UK, the Army's on Parade competition is currently running. It started. The parade day will be on the 7th of September, and the Games Day final on the 29th of September. This is a big Army painting competition throughout all the Games Workshop stores in the UK. There's lots of details and rules, things that you can find upon their site, and there's even more prizes than last time. So hopefully that'll be a bit more exciting. In Black Library news, Corax Soulforge by Gav Thorpe, the new limited edition Horus Heresy, was delivered on Friday. Mine arrived, and it's very pretty, but it just doesn't do very much. They've also got a new book, Dead Winter, by C.L. Werner, up for pre-order, which is set 1,000 years after the struggles of the Age of Sigmar. The Empire is being attacked by the Faustgaven. We also have The Emperor's Gift is up for pre-order by Aaron Dembski-Bowden. Grey Knights fighting against Chaos again. And there's also Ahriman Exile by John French, also up for pre-order. As we mentioned in the Fluff Talk the other day, it's all about Ahriman going off after Magnus spurned him with the whole rubric disaster. And also news say that there's a new Gotrek and Felix ebook, Into the Valley, and they're doing a new e-bundle for Path of the Eldar. So there are some great books, so some interesting things to check out. In Forge World news, the new Imperial Armour, Volume 3, 2nd edition, the Taris campaigns come out, and I do believe we have a video for that.
We do, but I think I might drop the stream and try and pick it back up, because this is really not working. It's like going at it was down to 1 kbps or whatever it was down, so it was just, this is horrible. So I'm gonna stop the stream and try and hopefully that fixes it. If not, I'm gonna go jump out my window. Not as bad a threat, because it's a 1-story house, so I'm just gonna land in the garden and be back like 5 minutes later. So,
I don't think you'd even make it through the window.
Yeah, so just a second.
You'd probably break.
Okay, I think we're back, and nothing has been fixed. So let's we'll power through this with a video apparently. So let's see what happens. It's probably gonna be too laggy to oh, can't even find it.
Should we just talk about it instead?
Nope, I got it. I found it. Okay, that was a video. And here's the cover. So this is like a reboot of this campaign. Is that correct?
Yeah, they're bringing it up to 6th edition. It's the second edition of Imperial Armor Volume 3.
Yeah, I mean, that's... I think kind of what we don't really have much to talk about on the book itself, but I think where we really wanted to kind of have a word about is just how quickly these Forge World releases have been coming out. It's, you know, it's crazy. I mean, Games Workshop's been releasing stuff so quickly, and now Forge World seems like they're just trying to keep up with Games Workshop. Am I crazy in thinking this, or is this actually happening?
There's been an insane amount of stuff. I'm just looking at the website now and going back. We've had the Realm of the Necron, the Recon Squad, the Siege Squad, the Bikers. We've had the Reaper Cannon, the Mechanicus stuff, all the Necron stuff, and the Necron Imperial Armor. And then we've had Goblins and Orcs and Praetors and new transfers. There's just so much. Yeah, they're on it at the moment for some reason.
Yeah.
A song comes to mind.
I
Money, 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 money.
And I forgot to put these pictures up before of these books. So have we not talked about the books yet? I can't even remember. The first half of the show is just a white rage for me. So
I did sort of go through them slightly. We could look at them again if you want. This is Aram in Exile by John French.
Yep, I just thought I'd show the covers. I mean, I spent all the time putting the pictures in there. We might as well use them, right?
Indeed. Aram in Exile by John French. Chronicling his when he's first kicked out of the Thousand Suns by Magnus.
And then
Dead Winter by C.O. Warner. 1,000 years after the age of Sigmar, the Empire is still fighting against the foul, loathsome rat men. From the Time of Legend series.
Okay.
This is Corax Soulforge, the limited edition disappointment. That was delivered to everyone on Friday. Only 4,000 made. Very exciting.
And so what do we have next? We have the release of the brass.
Yes, indeed, the Lunar Wolves brass and transfer sets.
So, like, I know I'm meant to be the one that knows things about, like, painting, modeling, and just 40k in general, but I still haven't figured out what these brass sets do. I have one that came with, like, the basing kit, and I used it for making, like, chain link vents, like, base material, but what are we meant to be doing with these brass things?
See, I'm quite upset because I was going to ask you.
Yeah, it's. Do you put them on your tank? Do you put them on your base? Do you are they just pretty little tokens? I'm confused. I mean, I've never really had any experience with them. I mean, Savage, I'm gonna Hail Mary to you and see if it connects. But do you know what these brass things are for?
Well, you pop one out and then you put it on the inside of your jacket coat. And once you collect all
we'll
8, then you go to the...
Okay. These make a little bit more sense, the transfers, but yeah.
Yeah, the minute you transfer them onto things, which is, it includes in the name there.
Yeah.
But it's nice to see some Lunar Wolf stuff. They are obviously pushing the Horus Heresy, and we heard from the Weekender that they're already sort of gagging to get the second and third books out.
It's an interesting army to pick for your Horus Heresy, though, isn't it? Like, it's not even really a Horus Heresy army, it's more of a pre-Heresy army, isn't it?
Yes, yeah.
Because they were kind of different by the time they went, all Horus Heresy.
Yeah, so I would say I like the Lunar Wolves, but I'm not a big fan of the Sons of Horus.
Who wants to change their armor from what they were white, kind of they're like a white and black kind of thing, and then they changed it to a green?
it's a kind of dodgy green.
Yeah,
as well, isn't
it's a dodgy, like, kind of yuck green. Like, who thinks that's a good idea? Probably the guy that goes against the Emperor. But you know, I'll pass back the new releases to you, Seb, and I'll just deal with the pitches.
Okay. The next one we have from Forge World is the Necron Canoptech Tomb Sentinel. So that's a new exciting thing. In ages old, the Necron Panoplies of War, the Canoptech Tomb Sentinels, is all but unique. One of the last war machines designed by the Cryptech Master Artificer Tolok the Blinded. At the Silent King's command, it was given over to the Praetorians for wider dissemination across the Necron dynasties before the Great Sleep. So yeah, it's a detailed multi-part kit resin designed by Will Hayes and available worth of dynamic positions and opportunities, much like the Tombstalker. And it's now available pre-order for the 30th. Yeah.
I love how they say that it's all but unique, and then they also, they already have a model like this with just a different head. It's unique apart from that other model that we have. It's because when we first saw it, Savage, you said to me, "Wait, this is a new release? Didn't they already have this out?"
Yeah.
Like, it looks like the other one. It just has a few different things on it. It makes me laugh when they use that's this unique creature.
They also really stress that don't think that rock on the back of the stand is going to come with it. It just comes with a normal oval stand.
Oh, that's funny.
But
So
with
it's
that
got
bit in
its
the
bum in
middle,
the-
it's like two put together.
It does kind of look like that.
So one has its like bum in the air, and the other one is like standing up at the front.
Well, like, the good thing about this kit is I have kind of seen people dealing with it, that it is very, like, posable. The bad side is that there is so many pieces in this kit. Like, every leg is like 2 or 3 bits. There's so many bits for this kit, but on the bright side, you can actually have it, wrapped around stuff. You can have it, like, crawling through stuff. It's an amazing kit. And it has that thing where if you are really cheap, you can cut it in half and have one end tunneling up out of something and one end tunneling in something, and you get 2 models for the price of one.
That's amazing. I love that. Well, although it does look like it's a Necron cat dog.
It does look like that.
So yeah, that's the new exciting Canoptech. We also have the Legion Praetors. These are the mightiest warriors and battle leaders, the Legiones Astartes, second only to the godlike Promarchs, their martial skill and generalship. Each is a vastly experienced warrior, a warlord, unique in character, who's writ for a legend themselves in blood and slaughter. It's 2 incredibly detailed multi-part resin models designed by Edgar Skoromowski.
Apparently I
one's an
lost
artist-
connection.
Oh dear.
Yeah. It's still recording, but no, now we're good.
Oh good, we are good. Wonderful.
It still records, so I probably just shouldn't have interrupted you, but...
It's fine. We are Rangehammer this week. It's going to be okay.
Oh, worst episode ever.
One Praetor is clad in artifact-modified Cataphracti armor with ornate Paragon Blade Power Sword and a Volkite Charger, while the other wears ornate Artificer-modified Mark III Iron armor, and it carries a fantastic detailed Archaeotech pistol, as well as the mighty Paragon Blade of the Power Sword. So yeah, they're some rather exciting chaps, and we see that they're in colour, and there's also the Imperial Fist designed one we saw a moment ago.
Yeah, they're really cool models. My problem being their weapons. Like, they kind of, unless you convert them and change their weapons, they kind of can only be used in that Horus Heresy setting. Because those are the unique weapons. But I dig the models. And another problem that I have being a Space Wolf player is that, obviously they're never going to fit into my army unless I do some pretty serious conversion work on them. To give them some wolf pelts and stuff like that, but definitely nice models.
So I'm just trying to work out where they fit in sort of fluff-wise. They are the ultra veteran Terminators.
The Praetorians?
Terminator Plus. Yeah.
I think they're because they're an HQ choice, so I think they're like captains that lead forces. Yeah. But then I think with the rules for Praetorians, I think you can then extend it out so you can make one like a Liberian Praetorian or something like that. All I know is that there's some unit in that setting with that rule set that you buy it and it's just like a captain, and then you can kind of advance it to be like some siege master or a Liberian or like a chaplain.
Okay.
As far as I can tell, I haven't really gone into it, but
ultra captains in special or Terminator armor, then basically, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Awesome scene. So yeah, I think that kind of is things we've got from Forge World. As we all know, and we talked about, well, we didn't, you guys talked about in detail last week, the Eldar are released today. And if you want to see some interesting pictures, there are some great pictures of the Codex on Blood of Kittens, but I don't think we're going to go into those, but you can see them on Blood of Kittens.
Yeah, by now a lot of people are probably going to have the Codex already, so showing leaked things, we felt that, you know, I don't know, I felt that we could probably do without it. Maybe it was a moral thing. I was like, well, it's released now, people can go buy it. No. But yeah, I will be buying that Codex sometime, hopefully today, sometime this week, and we'll be talking more detail about the Eldar Codex next week.
Awesome.
So that's all the news and rumors we have today, yes?
Do you believe so?
Okay, so we'll move on to our main topic, which is just kind of like the tournament scene in general, kind of thoughts that we have on it, and we just thought we'd have a little discussion about that. As you know, I was in a tournament last weekend. I didn't place, but I did win Best Painted, so, I mean, for me that's better. I'd rather win Best Painted than win the tournament, purely because, you know, to me it's harder to paint than it is to win a game of 40k. But but I had a great day. My partner was awesome. What's that?
You know why you didn't win?
What's that?
You didn't take Grey Knights and Necrons.
I know. We're playing Space Wolves and Tau instead, but yeah, it was a doubles tournament. Random partner. Although I just throw this out now that the guy that won was with his girlfriend, so it wasn't a random partner, and he was basically playing both the armies. So what are you gonna do? So yeah,
Bitch about it on an online blog thing.
Yeah. Hey, what's the point of doing this show if I can't bitch about it?
And to be fair, he has actually cracked a smile now, so that we're in good territory.
Yeah, as we start lagging again though, so
there's always something.
And there it goes.
Yeah, but yeah, I got some pictures of that as we'll kind of talk about it. There we go. That's my army there on the display board. Not the most flattering picture, but it's got the guy falling off his Thunderwolf in the front. But just would talk about tournaments in general. I mean, Seb, you're fairly new to playing the game, and tournaments are probably the last thing from your mind right now. But what's your thoughts on tournaments and everything from like a new player perspective?
From a new player perspective, they do seem quite daunting, but definitely something that I would like to maybe have a go at once I've managed to beat you more than I think once so far. So I think I want to get a few victories against you under my belt before I get into it. But yeah, it looks exciting. It seems a great way to meet more players and people in the area that are actually doing this as well. Because that's the reason I'm only really playing you online is because I don't really have anyone around me that is playing. So
yeah, definitely
good to meet more people and get involved. And just see how things really work when it really matters. Because it's not going to be the same as a friendly game, is it really?
No, it's not. And I mean, I'll probably talk about that when it gets around to me. But Savage, you're fairly new to the tournament side, but you are experienced in playing games. What are your thoughts on kind of tournaments?
Yeah, I kind of steer away from there because of lists and things that you see. Just kind of aggravate me. So playing in a tournament would probably just aggravate me, and I'd probably punch someone.
No, I definitely agree. You know, one of our friends that we used to play Warhammer with, he's into tournaments now, and he does quite well. I think he's come third, fourth, and around that. And you know, I'll throw lists, you know, at him, and he'll say, you know, it's a good list, but if you're playing in a tournament that doesn't have a competitive score to it, then you're probably gonna lose. And it just, that whole aspect of, if there's no one judging, like, people bringing like cheesy lists, that unless you bring a cheesy list you're just gonna lose, it takes the fun out of the game a little bit for me, because it's such a narrative, story driven game with such a rich backstory to it, so much lore, and so much lore goes into each army and each unit, and now you're looking at it as just numbers and stats on a chart. You know, are these stats going to be better than this guy's stats? And I think it really takes away from the game.
Definitely. Could I jump in here quickly?
Yeah, just, go for it.
Because we talk about the cheesy stuff, and people talk about spamming quite a lot. There's a really interesting article about Souls a few weeks ago, and it's just like, what is spamming and what is this cheesiness? Like, if you're going to have a Ravenwing army, they're all going to be Ravenwing, like Terminators. If you're going to have like any other army, or if you're going to have Wild Riders for Eldar, they're all going to be jet bikes and things. It's like, there's looking at the stats and there's looking at spamming and what spamming is, but some spamming and some stat stuff does fit with the fluff and what is going on, is what I'm sort of trying to say.
Yeah, we kind of talked about this on a episode of Battle Bros when we were still doing that, and the question that was thrown to us was, you know, kind of fluff versus, you know, competitive lists, and we kind of talked about, is a list really unfluffy? You know, you have a codex with all the units that this army uses, you know, that's fluff, that's the law, this army uses these units, you have access to these units. So if my army is made up of units from this army, from this codex, you know, where do you draw the line on it not being fluffy? You know what I'm trying to say? Like, my army is made up of all these units from this army, and that's kind of the top, kind of what stumped us for a little bit, was, you know, how can you say something isn't fluffy if they're using units from that codex? But then we kind of got to the point of saying, well, it kind of isn't fluffy when you start using units that are either rare, or they wouldn't be used as often, or they wouldn't be used at the same time as this unit. It's a fine line, and I think a lot of people are going to have a lot of different views. I think everyone's view on it is going to be slightly different. But
it's like Thousand Suns. You could just have a sorcerer and just completely spam Thousand Suns, and that works. And then you get all these wonderful conversions and things, and like, they don't really have vehicles that much. So yeah, I see what you're saying. Like, you could have it aesthetically fluffy, but not actually fluffily fluffy, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and it's like a Savage with his corn armies. Like, he's allowed to bring a sorcerer, but would he have a sorcerer in a World Eater's army? No. Like, would that be fluffy? No. Can he do it? Yes. But it's I think it's that line that you kind of have to draw between if it's fluffy or not. You know, how rare is a Helldrake? I mean, I don't know fluff wise, but would you see 3 of them flying around on the same battlefield? I mean, that's another thing you gotta kind of look at, is that when you're playing a game of, the way I look at it, when you're playing a game of 40k, your board is just a small chunk of an ongoing battle. You know, this is just one, like, skirmish basically of like a bigger campaign or a bigger fight that's going on beyond the borders of your board. You know, would you see 3 Helldrakes flying in the same army? I don't know.
4 Wraith Knights.
Yeah.
Wandering about.
Yeah. Well, would you see, like, you know, 3 Wraith Knights together? Like, it's
very unlikely.
I think that's where you got to kind of look at it, if it's fluffy or not. But that's kind of my thing, is that sometimes the tournament kind of takes away from the game for me. But I know a lot of people that do like the whole competitive scene. I like the structured environment of a tournament. I like having my set amount of games. I like getting scored for my games, and it goes into a greater whole of winning this event. But at the same time, I don't like making my army for someone else rather than just making it for myself, because that's really what I'm doing when I go into a tournament and I want to win. I'm making the army for other people. I'm not making it for myself. I don't want to make a Space Wolf army, that has certain units, but if I don't take those units, I'm not considered competitive. It's if I don't have 3 squads of missile launcher long things, like or if I don't have some ally with some anti-air support, if I don't have a fortification, like, I don't really want to make those lists, but it kind of forces me if I want to take that list into a tournament scene. I mean, Savage, you think you could agree there? Because you like to make lists based on fluff and based on units that you like, and now you're looking at going into a tournament, you would have to change your lists, right, if you wanted to consider winning?
Yeah. You'd have to, change. Yeah, you'd definitely have to change a lot in, like, most lists, especially if you're sticking more to, like, fluff. You wouldn't see, like, an all-corn army. You'd see, like, Nurgle with Tzeentch and Slanesh and all together.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know about you, Seb, because, again, you're fairly new to actually playing the game, but me and Savage and I, we like playing into a more of a campaign than a tournament. It's still structured. You can still win if you wanted to, but it's based on the story. It's based on the fluff. You are playing competitively, but you're not playing so competitively that there's like a first place, a second place, a third place. There's a story. You're fighting on a map. You're fighting over something. You can see the greater battle going on. Would that be something that you'd be more interested in than a tournament?
Definitely, I think that sounds awesome, because like the thing that really got me into Warhammer in the first place is all the fluff and the story behind it. So actually having something you're doing is and something you're aiming for. It sounds amazing, and also it's kind of like relating it to other games. It's almost this would be like a Dungeons and Dragons session. It's like you're all playing. And you're all playing through the story for fun, and it's like it's not the players trying to beat the DM or the DM trying to beat the players. And so, it adds that much more depth to it if you have some kind of narrative and knowing what's going on. Because, like you said, I like your idea that each battle is just a segment of a larger kind of fray, and that if you can actually piece that fray together with a decent story and a couple of mates, that sounds like a really good idea.
Yeah, we actually did this for a while until it kind of just died out. We were playing over Vassell, Savage and I with a couple of mates. I was basically the GM. I had the story, and their characters were HQs, and they had armies with them. The story was Savage, his Chaos Corn Lord, he came to this Forge World planet, basically shut it off from the rest of the Empire in order to draw enemies to him to slaughter. So he, cut down communications. So at that time, the communications were cut. A couple other friends who were each playing Dark Elder, well, their Dark Elder guys wanted to get in on this because a Forge planet, shutting itself off from the rest of the Imperium, that's a good time to strike. And then we had a Tyranid player. Kind of hard to bring Tyranids into a story if they're not the main bad guy, but we just said that they were the whole idea behind them was they were a hive fleet that was cut off from the rest of their they were a hive ship cut off from the rest of their fleet, and all the Tyranids were basically going into hibernation, so they were just floating through the warp, and they just got spat out there randomly. And then we had kind of like the NPC army, which was some Dark Angels, and I kind of did it based on what the players picked to do with their army. I would change the story. So the Dark Angels saw the Tyranids, decided that was actually a better thing to do. Well, it's more of a threat, so they boarded the Tyranid ship. So the first round for the Tyranid player was fighting the Dark Angels. He lost, so the next week it was him fighting the Dark Angels again, but deeper into the Tyranid ship. And then you had it was just completely different things. Like I gave a story event for Savage, saying that there was a base on the moon, but you can't get any info from you're sending messages to this moon base and they're not sending you anything back. So he's like, I'm gonna blow the moon up. So he had a mission where he had to fight these like rebels to get to the planetary defenses, and then he just blew up the moon. So
Stop looking at me!
So that's just kind of like a small chunk of how I ran the campaign, and it was really a fun thing to do. Kind of getting away from our tournament things, but you know, that's kind of another. It's still structured, and it still gives people a nice, like, you know, event, I guess, to kind of build their army around. But it was a nice, like, kind of story-based thing. So
it's awesome to bring that many other races and players in as well. It's just quite awesome.
Yeah, it does get difficult story-wise sometimes when you have a whole lot of, especially when someone plays Tyranids, because like how Tyranids, they don't, you know, they have one goal. It's kind of difficult, but yeah, but it was real fun. And it's a shame that it kind of died. Maybe I'll try and start one up again sometime, and you can join us, because that
I'd definitely be up for that.
But any thoughts on the tournament scene before we wrap this main topic up? I kind of hijacked the topic and talked about something else, but
I'm not a big fan of tournaments, so
yeah, I mean,
I kind of just steer clear.
I always think there's a guy, at least one guy at a tournament that just no one likes. He's just that guy that he'll talk about his own army, you know, until it's time to start the tournament. He'll talk about his army as he's playing. He thinks he knows all the rules and that you know nothing. And there was a guy like that at this tournament. I didn't enjoy the game that I played with him. I didn't enjoy just talking to him in general. I just wonder if people, obviously they're not aware that they're like that, but don't be that guy, you know. Don't talk people's ears off about how good your army is. A tournament. It's a social event, you know. Talk about their army too. It's, you know, just show just some real life etiquette in, you know. Then that'd be my.
What's this real life you speak of?
Yeah. And what's that, Seb?
As I was saying, you just have people just calling you on rules and stats every step of the way, and it's like, obviously, if you're not sure about something, you might want to check it. But if someone's like got a full painted up army, they've clearly put some time and dedication into this, bring it to the tournament. There's a good chance they're going to know the stats and the rules for their models.
Yeah, I don't mind people asking me, you know, checking my codex and asking me, oh, did they have that? I thought they had that. But it's really how you say it. When I charge with my Thunderwolf cavalry, and I'm like, okay, they have, you know, 4 attacks base, 1 for charging, 1 for the pistols and close combat weapons, and then it's strength 5, and they're like, strength 5? They don't have strength 5. They got strength 4, and I'm like, no, they have strength 5. And he's like, well, can I have a look at your codex? I'm like, okay, and they do have strength 5. It's just, when you say no, they don't, they have strength 4. It's a difference between saying, oh, I thought they had strength 4, do you mind if I see your codex? Like, there's a difference there.
But like you said, it's just etiquette and manners, isn't it, really, at the end of the day? But there are no manners in war.
No.
Mostly because it's the only time that people come out of their basements.
Yeah. I mean, I've asked kids at this tournament, because it was like a young bloods kind of mixed with veterans tournament, and there was kids there.
Did you make them?
No, I didn't.
Did you make them piss
pee
themselves?
But they were actually more polite than some of the older players, and it was good to see. Like, you know, one of them got a little bit upset that he didn't win anything at the end of the day, but I think a lot of that was that his dad was actually putting the tournament on. He was hosting, but it was you know, they were more polite, and I spent more time talking to them than I did like some of the players closer to my age, because I just didn't. The other players were just rude. You know, I didn't want to spend my time with them. But It's
You'd say there's a good spread of ages though at the tournament. You were saying.
yeah,
quite
there
good.
was. I mean, majority of the people there were great, friendly, no problem. One, maybe two people there that was just, not great. But I think we'll move on from talking about tournaments to what is it, Shamehammer.
Okie dokie.
So I think this is all you, Seb. You came today thinking, I was thinking that you were going to be the angry one, and then some things happened and I became the angry one. But you came to the show today with, what was it, two things that you are not happy with?
Two rage issues. So it's just Black Library and some of the crazy things they do. So as I mentioned earlier, Corax Soulforge, the new limited edition £30, only 4,000 made thing came out, and it's just nothing to it. It's like we had Promethean Sun and we saw salamanders fighting exodites for the first time, and we had like Aurelian is just some awesome epicness extra for the first heretic, and Brotherhood of the Storm was just beautifully written and nice to see the white scars. But Corax Soulforge is Raven Guard being a bit Raven Guardy, and some of the Istvan veterans seem a bit more leery than they were before Istvan. Shocker. And Corax looks at his white face and black eyes and goes, "Ooh, could I be a bit made of darkness as well?" No, the Emperor would never do that. And then everyone goes home and goes, "Why the fuck did I spend that much money?" Like, I'm seriously thinking of selling it. It's that bad. And we also have a picture. The other thing that really makes me annoyed about this is there's a beautiful dust cover which actually contains a short story, which is far better than the entire novella itself.
I don't think I have the picture in there, but I'll try and get it up. There.
But I was going to say about the cover, just the actual book itself, it's made from this weird material which just soaks up fingerprints. Like, I'm one of these weird people. I like to keep my dust covers nice and pretty, so I normally take my dust cover off a book to read it, which I know is a little odd, but if you touch the book, it's now just ruined and just covered in fingerprints. So yeah, maybe I shouldn't have said that, but I was planning to sell it.
Yeah, it's horrible quality now.
So yeah, I just raging. It's just such a pointless product that could have been so much better and so much nicer, and even so much more well written. So that was the first part.
So you actually said that you sent me a picture of it? Is that?
Yes, I did send you a picture of the cover with all my greasy,
file name?
Horrible fingerprints. It's just 2013-05-31.
Okay, we'll get that there. 2000. Oh my god, I have so many of them. Oh no, like half my pictures have got that starting 2013.
13-05-3115.
I don't know if I have it.
.38.
I can imagine that people can imagine what a touchy-feely black cover of a book with all my sweaty.
Oh, I got it. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Let me enlarge it.
Zoom and enhance.
There we are. Yeah. So I don't know if it's because I have what's it called? Macarius Crusade or something like that. You know, the guy in the gold armor standing on a Baneblade. I brought that as a hardback, which is surprising because I buy most of my stuff as an ebook, and I take my dust cover off too, mostly because I think the book looks a lot better without it on. It's all simple and it looks classy. Makes me look more fancy when I'm reading it in public. I don't know if it's made out of the same stuff, but that's terrible. Look at all those fingerprints.
I've literally tried to buff it and tried to avoid it. And I'm now reading it with dust cover on. Right, I've now finished it. I'm not going to throw it away. But I was reading it with the dust cover on for the most part. That was just like a few pages, just holding it in my hands. I don't know.
They
maybe
should probably give you
Sorry,
gloves to come with it or something.
Gloves.
Little white gloves.
I can imagine you sitting there reading your books with gloves on now. Little white gloves.
To be
just-
fair, I do like all paperback books. I only open a tiny bit. Like Sarah always laughs at me. I kind of have to have my head sideways because I really hate creasing the spine. I'm really anal when it comes to books.
Yeah, I had the same problem because when I have paperback books, I'm like, I don't like it how the spine creases. So to get over that, as soon as I start reading, I just open it and just bend it straight back.
Oh, that hurt me inside.
Because I'm never gonna get over it if I don't do that. It just.
Yeah.
I mean,
okay, that's one way of dealing with it.
Then again, one of my omnibuses, the pages are all falling back out. So, but I don't think that's what it was. But I think it was just dodgy bookmaking on that one. But so what's the second thing? That was the first thing, right?
Oh, okay. Well, so there's almost three things. Just really connected to that one quickly. One more thing was like the fact that they released the Imperial Truth limited edition novella of short stories only at the Horus Heresy Weekender. Like, how many people read the Horus Heresy and don't get to go to the Weekender? And now we can only buy them for crazy money on eBay. But that leads me on to the next main thing, which is Blood Reaver by Aaron Dembski-Bowden, which now lots of people have lovely been offering like to get for me from America. But in the UK, it's £300 on eBay and Amazon, and there's one on Amazon for £1,500. That isn't even brand new. It's the second book of the Night Lord series. I bought the third book for like £5.50 second hand. I just like prices and people just being insane. Just deserve some shame, I think.
Was it printed in gold?
Yeah, I think it's written in Aaron Dembski-Bowden's own blood on ceramite.
Even if it was gold, it wouldn't have even been too expensive. I mean, for a page of gold, you can spread gold out pretty thin. And we lost connection, but we will still be recording, so I don't know how we deal with that.
I think it just keeps rolling. I'm sure it'll be fine.
Yeah.
The rage keeps us moving forward.
I don't understand what the problem.
roll
Like,
it.
I don't know if it's my internet or if live stream's having a problem. It's going up and down, up and down. I just cannot.
Yeah, it is.
Shut up. Yeah, there we go. We're back. It's. What?
I'm just waiting for your head just to go.
Okay, so that's Shamehammer. It's time to I guess pick who gets hit by the Shamehammer. So Savage, what's your vote?
I'm gonna go with like the dirty book thing
Seb?
with feet.
Yeah, I'm just gonna go just with just the frickin' disappointment that is Corax Soulforge.
Okay, well,
Black Library.
I again, my vote doesn't matter. But I think I'm gonna have to go with the prices just because I think that's disgusting.
Yeah, that.
Fair enough. If you can't get it in X country, then charge a little bit more for it. But there's a difference between charging a little bit more for it and then just like selling it for $1,000. Or it's like, what? Like, if it retails for $30 or something like that, maybe sell it 50, 60, even $100. I could maybe be a little bit more lenient. But when you yeah, that would be my vote. But
Definitely, it's like if I get sent like ridiculous numbers of copies now, I'm going to keep one and sell the rest. But like I will sell them at what it's cost me to get them sent. Like, not anymore.
So Dirty Books is the winner. Well, can you really win, Shamehammer? You're more of the loser. So
Right.
Seb, since we're glad to have you back, you can be the one to.
Okay, I hope you can hear this, but this is going to be me dropping this novella onto the table. Ready? Shamehammer.
Yes, we heard that.
That's the closest thing it's ever been to a hammer.
That's £30 of Shamehammer right there.
Okay, so our next is Unit of the Week, and this is again from Seb. So he's come back with a vengeance, just with all this info for us, and his Unit of the Week is originally Unit of the Week started off as more of like a, we'll talk about the stats and stuff of a unit, but we talk about just nice models as well. So it's a Demon Prince of a Primarch, correct?
It is. It's a Demon Perturabo conversion by a chap called the Raging Agent, or the Raging Agent. The Raging Asian, I believe. Yeah, it's a unique Iron Warriors Demon Prince, which can easily be great count as Perturabo Ascendant conversion. He made it from a normal Demon Prince kit, a Necron Wraith, and some Dark Eldar Talos bits. The head requires some green stuff to get to work into reposition, as well as the interfacing between the torso and the tail. But yeah, I just came across that on Battle of Our Souls, and I thought it was a rather pretty, and very beautifully Perturabo and Iron Warriors-y demon machine thing. So I thought it was kind of cool. Are we actually on? Like, I can't see us.
Apparently we've got perfect streaming, so
okay.
Unless it's lying to me.
Yeah, I got nothing.
Well, apparently we're on, so unless
I'm the ready to ask Toxic today, to be fair. We are.
No.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think, great model, but I think Savage can agree with me here that if you were going to use this as a Primarch, you're going to be very disappointed when you put it up to the stats of a Demon Prince.
Yeah.
I mean, I think I just unleashed the floodgates for Savage there when we talk about Demon Prince stats, but there you go, Savage. Have at Demon Princes. His brain exploded. All he can do is fart noises to show.
That's
so. I can translate. Basically, he's trying to say that the Demon Prince doesn't really fit its stat line. They're a bit weaker than what he feels they should be, at least. And I have to agree with him. They do seem a little fragile. Their toughness seems to be a little bit low. Their wound count seems to be a little bit low for these, immortal, demon princes. I was trying to think of another word to call them, but they're demon princes. Princes of demons.
Yeah, the fluff just doesn't match the rules.
Yeah, I mean, that's true with all models, but it's, in particular, it shows here when, you've lost your demon princes to like a squad of guardsmen shooting at them with las guns.
Yeah.
It's, and
I've
I
had
think
another one taken down by orcs shooting at it while it was flying.
Yeah, and I mean, I really feel like if you're going to be using this as a Primarch, you're really going to be disappointed. Unless you have your own rules for it, you're really going to be disappointed. But,
I would probably use like the Bloodthirster rules for from Chaos Demons if you wanted a good Demon Prince thing.
Now, Seb, you haven't really been familiar with playing a Demon Prince. Does that kind of throw you off having a Demon Prince, or you don't really care about him?
Yeah, no, I've heard a lot about Demon Princes not kind of holding their water quite so much. Also, with the fluff, it's kind of worrying to think they're that easy to kill, and it's going to take them another 6,000 to 10,000 years to come back. What really is a Demon Prince? But I think I'd probably stick to the more specific named characters, like the Greater Demons, or maybe even the specific Greater Demons, rather than going for Demon Prince. But they FAQ'd it for Abaddon, didn't they? He can't become a Demon Prince because
I believe
that
so.
just shows how much better than a Demon Prince he is.
So yeah, so that's our unit of the week. We kind of talked about Demon Princes, but it was meant to focus on this model because a great model. I'd like to open this up to viewers as well. If you have a model, a good conversion, or anything that you want to send us to kind of showcase your work or anything like that, send it to us. I'm sure we'd all be happy to have a look at it. So we'll move on to the lab. I don't know how long this part is going to go for, but no, we're online, aren't we?
Maybe. I don't know. Dun, 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 dun.
Oh, no one here but us chickens.
Really? So are we offline?
All I can see
It
is like
should still be
offline.
recording on your scenes will still be recording it.
I'm gonna go like just drink myself to sleep after this episode.
What time is it? It's only 10 in the morning.
It's 8 a.m. So.
Oh dear.
Alright.
Sounds good to me.
If it's showing that we're offline on live stream, it may be a live stream issue, but who knows?
Who knows?
Okay, so let's just power through the show now that we've kind of lost power, I guess. Maybe I'll try rebooting it. I want to just. Ugh. Okay. Okay, I hope we're back. I hope if there's anyone left that they can still see and hear us. This has been a show plagued with technical difficulties. I don't know if it is my end or live stream. With the last problem, I think maybe live stream, so we'll see. Yeah, but we're gonna just plow through, keep on trucking, heads held high, I guess, before I drink myself to sleep after the episode. But let's continue. So in the lab, we don't have a list from a viewer, so I decided to just bring up a 1,000-point list that I made. I was going to make Savage write a list, but he did do the tactics video with me, so I didn't want to give him too much work to do. So this is my 1,000-point list. I have to remember it off the top of my head because I don't actually have it on me. But it's a Room Priest, obviously Space Wolves, by the way. Room Priest, 2 units of 10 Grey Hunters. We have the Mark of the Wolfen and the Wolf Standard on those guys. They're both in Rhinos. One squad has 2 Plasmas, one squad has 2 Melters. Then have a 5-man squad, a 6-man squad of Long Fangs with 5 missile launchers, a defense line with a quad gun, and 2 Vindicators. And that's 1,000 points. Seb, are you taking notes there, or?
I really am. I've written it all down. I'm quite impressed.
So, yeah.
Sounding pretty epic.
So I'll throw it over to Seb first, because he's the one that I play most of my games against now. Thoughts on that list?
Well, I'm definitely going to be... Well, I'm just upset that Chaos Space Marines don't get vehicles so much to put things in, which is always a shame, because you just love hiding your things in vehicles. But it's making me feel like I want to get some Screamers out to rip apart your Rhinos.
Or
and
3
definitely have
Helldrakes.
Just get 12 Helldrakes and 4 out of Wraith Knights to walk about. But definitely want some bigger, harder stuff that can take a bit more of the melter and plasma and your epic amount of missiles.
Yeah. Savage, I'm gonna throw this over to you, but if you say, it's alright.
You might just want to skip me then.
Well, I'll throw in what I feel. It's difficult at 1,000 points to get what you want. You're either going to have a lot of troop and nothing much else, or you're going to have a lot of, other units to be doing all the ass kicking, and then not have much troop. I feel like I've kind of hit a nice balance, but at the same point, having only 2 squads of troop and Rhinos, I do feel like that's a little bit lacking, but then again, it is only 1,000 points. I did lost connection again. I did try and throw in the defense line to have some anti-air, but at the same time, there's not much you can do with Space Wolves with anti-air. But so that's kind of my thought process. And the Rune Priest is there. I don't know where he'd go, probably with the Long Fangs. But yeah, that's my list. So Savage, I will throw it over to you. It's the mercy of whatever you have to say about it.
Yeah, it's alright. Space Wolves always seem like a mean army, especially when you play them. You always find some like conniving way for something.
Well, you weren't playing in the group when I played a lot of Space Wolves in 5th edition, but when I was playing them and they were like basically, top of the pack, no pun intended, but they were when they were like really kicking ass in tournaments, that's when people were actually fearing my Space Wolves. I find now that they're a little bit lackluster in some of their units, and I think a lot of the things haven't gone into 6th edition well, and I've kind of said this before, like acute senses. It used to be everyone in the army could everyone in the army could see in the dark, basically. They're wolves, they can smell and everything like that. That's what acute senses let you do. Well, now acute senses let you re-roll your outflanking rolls, and everyone in the army has acute senses. One unit in the army can outflank. There's really some weird disconnect there when that rule changed, and that is really what makes me feel like there are codex that will be getting an update in the next year, because I just feel like there are a few things in there that don't even out. And then another one that I'd have to save would be Death from the Skies has rules for Space Wolf pilots, but they don't have any flyers, if not including Forge World stuff. So yeah, but yes, I think it's a decent list. Not too much to really say about it.
Anything with 2 Vindicators is gonna do some damage.
I had one, but then you have 1 Vindicator, right? What are you gonna do if you're fighting an army that has 1 Vindicator? Savage, first thing you do,
shoot at the Vindicator.
You shoot the Vindicator. So you have 1 Vindicator to die, and then you have 1 Vindicator to at least maybe get 2 turns of shooting. So you're basically paying double just to get this unit to do something. But I feel like it creates enough threat to maybe have those 2 troops survive a bit longer, and that's kind of what I did, what I was going for. Lost connection again, yay! I really think it's a live stream problem right now, because apart from this, my internet is fine right now. Skype calls are good quality. No one looks like a potato. So I really think it's just live stream right now. So that makes me feel a little bit better if I can blame it on live stream and not myself.
And like you said, it will still be on the thing, so we still be able to get it up.
It's going to be just a horrible episode to watch, because it's going to be like 10 minutes, and then you're going to go into it and be like, lost connection, and then we're just going to like talk for like idiots for like 5 minutes. Anyway, let's move on from the lab to the hobby tip of the week.
I'm going to say one thing, sorry, about your list before we move on.
Go on.
I've just noticed, like, in when I've been paying you, I thought your gunslingers were your boys. Like, they don't seem to be turning up in lists so much.
That's an interesting one, because I love the unit so much, but they're like 300 points, so you really need to be playing like a big game to have them in there.
Okay, that makes more sense.
I am tempted to run a lone wolf as a gunslinger, because you can actually run a lone wolf as a gunslinger. Just have one guy running around the field shooting plasma, because he's enough of a threat that you have to do something with him, but at the same time he's one guy that's probably doing 1 wound a turn, so you really don't want to waste firepower on him, and if you happen to not kill him, then you got to waste more firepower on him. I had this happen in the tournament that I just played it, when we're playing kill points, and you get a unit down to 1 guy, and you're like, oh, now I have to waste another unit. So then you waste another unit, and that unit doesn't kill it. Now you gotta waste another unit. That's 3 units to kill 1 guy. So that's actually an idea I'm playing around with, but yeah.
Okay, awesome scenes.
But yeah, so that's something. But yeah, I love that unit, the gunslingers, but I just had difficulty trying to get them in a game. So we'll move on to the hobby tip of the week, and I may want to go over this one again later because obviously we've been having troubles with it, and I really think this is a great hobby tip, and I really want to make sure people hear about it. And that would be, I've said it before, to use Army Painter spray, but I've just started using, again, not for my regular painting, but for some quick, easy painting, the Army Painter method of dipping your models in their quick shade. I've been trying that out this week after me and Seb talked about it at our post show chat for Fluff Talk.
Yeah.
And it's really it's a great product. I've always liked it. I had a few times where I kind of gone off it for a little bit, but other than that, it's an amazing product, and that's why I feel like I want to say this maybe in just a video of its own. But that would be my hobby tip: is if you're new to painting, or even if you, because the way that I kind of look at it is that a lot of new painters, all they do is base coat. They color their model like kind of like a coloring book. You color in the lines, and that's in more advanced terms, that is base coating. You get all your base colors down. You're then meant to go on and wash and highlight and stuff like that, but a lot of new players and a lot of people that aren't used to painting, like, that's all they do. And that's fine, but now you have Army Painter, well, that's all you need to do. You base coat it, then you dip the model, or you brush this quick shade on, and that will just do your whole model shading at once, and it just really makes it go from this base coated model to this amazingly painted model just from this quick shade. And then after that you spray with anti-shine, because the shade will make it go very shiny. And then you can highlight it if you want, but it's really amazing for new painters or people that only like to base coat, and it's just a little effort. I think it's a great product. I mean, Savage, you haven't used the quick shade yet, have you?
No.
I did leave one at your house, though, didn't I?
Probably.
I think I have one in all that, because I left like a box of paint at your house, right? Well, all my Games Workshop paints, and then all my spray cans.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I'm pretty sure that there is a tin of something.
Yeah,
like
that'll be quick shade.
I've just never looked at it.
You should try it. Just make sure you shake it up. It's a great product.
Shake. Shake.
And I mean, Seb, we talked about it, and I think it's tempted you into trying it out.
Definitely. It looks like a really good idea, and up on their website and stuff, they're really good demonstrations of how things will work, and a decent range of colours that fit with a lot of the 40k stuff. I think I looked at getting the dip and the anti-shine, and then like the green spray for my noble guys and the blue spray for some Thousand Suns, and that was about £50 for the lot, and that's going to pretty much do almost an entire army. So
yeah. That is one of their things, is that they say they give you army-size quantities. Like, it's designed to do a whole army. Like the quick shade, when I originally saw it, because I'm used to like these big paint tins, I originally saw it, I'm like, that's not much, and I'm like, well, how much am I actually using for a model? Not a lot. They last for a long time, and the spray cans look like the regular size spray cans, but they pack a lot in there, and they do last for 2,000 points plus spray painting. I mean, I don't know how well people can see it, but that is one of my tests for a Vestroyan model. You can see kind of the shading on his coat there, but that's just a base coat and then a shade. I haven't even gone into highlighting yet, and it's just really, you can't really see it well on camera because it's a bit brighter, but it's just a nicely shaded and colored model. So that would be my hobby tip, and I think I think everyone wants to just kind of end this episode, so we'll go into the outro here. Again, no idea really what this technical problems were. but they were there. We tried our best to kind of get through it, but you know, it's stuff happens.
We made it to the end. I'm quite impressed that we did that today. I really didn't think that was going to happen at one point.
Yeah, I'm really not looking forward to editing it all together now, but you know, it'll happen and it'll be uploaded, and you can watch us just flail around like, you know, fish out of water, kind of, when things don't work. Well, me in particular. If
I will be ready to back up next week as well. I think that's a good idea to have that going.
If Savage and I were in the same rooms, we probably would have ended up throwing chairs at each other. Well, I would have been throwing chairs at Savage, and he would have been defending himself. But
with a chair back at your face.
Yeah. But yeah, it was unfortunate. But again, Dice Troop.
It's not uncommon for Toxic to have performance issues.
Okay, Dice Troop, non-profit group. We do these videos for free and for fun. There is a donate button on our blog if you do feel the need or the urge or the anything to get rid of your money.
The urge to splurge.
We will gladly accept donations and put them to good use. We thank everyone that has already donated us money. It helps. As you know, we do put a lot of time and money into this stuff. But I'd like to thank everyone. Thank Savage and Seb. Thanks Seb for being back.
Most welcome. It's good to be back.
It's yeah. Although
I had to be serious last week.
I'd like to mention that before Seb even was back on the new episode, he was already telling me times that he couldn't make. He's already asking for more time off. So
what
I'm
now?
too busy chatting up Cersei Lannister, so don't you worry about it.
Okay.
Pixar, it didn't happen.
Actually, like, I'm sure you've seen that that cosplay of that guy. He's got like the flesh colored like suit on, and he has the dragons.
Yeah.
I want that to be your next cosplay.
That would be good.
That's what I want to see you cosplaying as.
Maybe.
It probably doesn't have the same effect when you rock up in your wheelchair and your cards if you're in this like skin colored suit with like dragons covering you.
It's quite difficult to explain you've got severe anxiety while looking like that.
Yeah. So we'll leave you with that, and we'll catch you guys again next week for episode 20.
Awesome scenes. Tatty bye.
Howdy bye.
Fuck this.